See, I started, I'm working in one of the MNC. I started my career with .NET, meaning training in .NET for 3 months. And after that, I'm into BizTalk. So for almost 7.5 years, 7.5 years, I'm in BizTalk. So I traveled on site and all that I have done. So my entire career is in BizTalk and now started learning Azure and all that. So if you see my work profile, it is .NET, BizTalk, Azure, and WCF applications and all that. So now, coming back to the demo on BizTalk actually. So before getting into demo, I want to know like, why did you choose BizTalk actually? Why you want to learn BizTalk and why not other technologies? Like, can every one of you explain actually why you want to learn BizTalk? Is it someone suggested you, or is it like you have seen the market and you came across BizTalk, or are you already working and you want to or you want to learn BizTalk, or what it is exactly? Like all of you are students or all of you are like already working?
Uh, I'm Ketak. I'm a student actually.
Okay.
Mr. Venkat has suggested me this BizTalk because I said him I would like to not go in depth into the programming. So he suggested me this BizTalk. So I came into this.
Okay. And how about others?
Hi, this is Umshin. At
Okay.
present, I'm in a STEM OPT. Basically, I'm a front-end UI developer. I did a project for 6 months,
Okay.
um, and I am thinking to have some knowledge on .NET. Why? Because it will be used for front-end also. And if I get any job on BizTalk, I'm ready to continue. Why? Because on UI nowadays the market is very slow. So I'm thinking to shift another tool and came to this.
And how about other two?
Hi sir, my name is Shravan.
Yeah.
Uh, I just completed my masters last month. So I was interested in basically .NET. So when I called Venkat bro, he just suggested me that this talk is based on .NET coding. So I just joined this.
Okay. So and how about one more?
My name is Prabhat Reddy. Venkat suggested me as the
Your
market is
voice is slow actually.
yeah, as the market is so Venkat suggested me this.
Okay. So I don't know who is Venkat. Maybe your employer, I think, right?
Yeah, our employer.
Okay. So actually, so see, learning BizTalk it's fine actually, but what I'm going to tell you is like, so BizTalk is a tool. Maybe because of that, you would have asked you to learn the BizTalk. Okay. Because you don't need to do much programming. So that is the main, all of you, I think. So I think one front-end developer wants to learn BizTalk. I see all other three are want to learn BizTalk because there is no much programming, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Yes.
a, basically it's like a tool, that's why. Okay. So now, uh, see, today's world is very competitive actually. Okay. So even though if you learn BizTalk as a tool, even though if you learn BizTalk as a tool, even you should very competitive, you should learn parallel of other technologies also. BizTalk only will not make survive you. Okay. Yeah, like all of you know Telugu, four of you,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
all of you know, right? ఓకే సో ఏం చెప్తున్నానంటే బిస్టాక్ మట్టు ఒకటే నేర్చుకుంటే సరిపోదు బిస్టాక్ కూడా బిస్టాక్ తో ఇంకా మనం ఇప్పుడు బిస్టాక్ నేర్చుకోండి నో ప్రాబ్లం యాక్చువల్లీ వన్స్ యూ గెట్ ఇన్ టు ద కంపెనీ యూ స్టార్ట్ లెర్నింగ్ అదర్ థింగ్స్ ఆల్సో ఓకే సో డ్యూరింగ్ ద ట్రైనింగ్ సెషన్ ఆఫ్ బిస్టాక్ ఆల్సో ఐ విల్ సెండ్ యూ ఫ్యూ లింక్స్ ఓకే
Okay.
meaning you no need to be an advanced or no need to be an expert, at least you should be a beginner. For an example, you should know HTML, all these things for a front-end development, right? HTML, CSS, style sheets and all very basics you should know when you're
Yes.
learning the front-end, correct? So for BizTalk also there are few things you have to learn, meaning that those are not programming language. So what I'm saying are not programming language. There are few things you have to learn before learning BizTalk, like you should know what is XML, you should know what is accessibility. Okay, so uh, so these and all things actually you should learn. So I will forward you the links. So you have to go through. It will only take 2 or 3 hours to learn actually. Okay, those are not like programming language. Just like, or you should know what is that. Okay, because we will be using in the BizTalk. Okay, so that I'm going to forward the link. So you will be learning on that, and and we'll be continuing the session. Okay, so now today's session actually what is ఇవాళ ముఖ్యంగా ఏం చెప్తానంటే లాస్ట్ 8 years BizTalk ఎలా ఉంది, ఇప్పుడు ప్రెసెంట్ ఎలా ఉంది, ఫ్యూచర్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, అండ్ దెన్ BizTalk అంటే ఏంటి. ఓకే, సో దీస్ 4 things I will tell you today, so that will make you like to see whether we should learn BizTalk or we should learn BizTalk or else what are the things we have to learn in BizTalk. And BizTalk ఇప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంది అని తెలుసుకున్నప్పుడు మీకు you will have some interest to learn, you will get motivated. Okay, okay, so 1 second.
Okay.
So now actually if you see BizTalk, so I'm going to tell you what is the present and what is the past and what is the future and what is BizTalk. Basically that's what the demo is actually. So you can plan accordingly to learn BizTalk or not, and then what is the current market you will be knowing in the very clear picture. Okay, so actually if you see BizTalk has started like from 2002. Okay, from 2002 onwards the BizTalk has been evolved. Okay, first of all into BizTalk, first of all why BizTalk came into picture. Okay, so the BizTalk came into picture because let me give a simple example and then I will tell you why BizTalk came into picture. It's not about BizTalk. The BizTalk comes under a platform called an integration space. Let me put a small diagram and then explain you. So everybody are looking at my screen, right?
Yes.
So let's say there is an application A and application B. Okay, let's say we'll take a simple example. Let's say we have a Flipkart for an example. Okay, Flipkart. So and we have applications called, let's say, Myntra, and we have application called ordering system, where we'll have order and the placements will be going. Okay, so let's say we have these two systems. So we have let's say the messages which is going here. Okay, so actually you know that Flipkart has been acquired by Myntra. No, the Myntra, Flipkart has acquired Myntra. I think you guys are already know that, right? So actually if you see you can see all the clothes whichever is there in the Myntra, you can see that in the Flipkart also. Okay, now Flipkart recently it has started with, for an example, they don't have any idea, like we are going to acquire Myntra, they might have not having any idea. Correct, they have just started and in between they have earned a lot and they started, okay, we'll start a business in our clothing things also. So that's when they acquired Myntra as well. Okay, now what is happening is Flipkart is keep on expanding, meaning the Flipkart is growing like anything. Correct, so middleware. Okay, what is meant by middleware? Middleware is nothing but which sits in the middle, like talking to the different systems. Okay, so that middleware reduce the complexity in terms of development, in terms of routing the messages, like in terms of reducing the complexity between two systems. So that's where middleware come into the picture. Okay, so let's say there is no middleware. Okay, let's say there is no middleware. Let me, okay, so now think about there is a Flipkart and there is no middleware in between, and we have a Myntra and we have ordering system. Okay, so the messages will go directly right here. Correct. So let's say today's Myntra and let's say Flipkart is trying to acquire two more machines, two more systems, B and C. Now the message will start flowing to B and message will be start flowing to C. Okay, so actually the complexity, if there is any change in Myntra, it will affect Flipkart also. Since it's affecting Flipkart also, this change in Flipkart will affect the system B also, system C also, because it's directly getting coupled. Correct, we're directly interacting with all the systems, meaning any code changes in Myntra, it will affect the other systems also, that is directly coupled. So actually if you have a middleware in between, if Flipkart is trying to send a message to middleware and middleware is sending a message to different systems, any change in any system will not affect the other system, because the middleware is what taking the message and is routing to different systems. So any changes will do in the middleware, so that the change will be there for all the systems. It will not affect any other system. Till now, guys, clear actually why middleware is required? You came to know.
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions? Any questions till now?
No.
Okay, so actually that's where middleware came into picture. That's what I'm going to explain actually. So why in 2000s actually 2000 and somewhere between 1990s, every company started thinking about middleware. The reason is because the only reason because they want to have something in between to reduce the complexity. Since the organization is keep on moving. Okay, so that's where the middleware came into picture. Okay, and when I talk about middleware, okay, so there are a lot of technologies involved. Okay, so in middleware, actually there are a lot of technologies involved. For Microsoft, it is BizTalk. Okay, and for IBM, it is WebSphere. Okay, and there are other tools like TIBCO. Okay, like other tools like TIBCO, and then web and then WebSphere, Message Broker, and there are a lot of other tools like. So since we are in Microsoft, okay, since I work only for Microsoft, so that's when I started learning a middleware tool called BizTalk. Okay, so now you know what is the importance of middleware, and in middleware these are the tools which are competitive for BizTalk. For one competitors are BizTalk competitors are WebSphere, Web Methods, Web Brokers, TIBCO. Web Method is not a middleware actually, you can ignore that. So TIBCO and WebSphere are like a competitor for BizTalk. Okay, in middleware space. So when I say competitor, what did someone have a question?
Are BizTalk and TIBCO it will be similar, or there will be a lot of difference for this?
Actually, see, the concept is same actually. Okay. See, when you think about the concept is the same. Even it routes the messages in between. Even BizTalk will route the message in between. But the way we work, the way we develop the application, the way we use the samples, the way we build the ports, like basically the way we develop the applications, they will have a lot of difference.
Okay. Fine. I got it.
So understood, right? And the performance also there will be a difference. Okay, and also the design also there will be a difference. Architecture difference will be there, but the concept remains the same. Even it reduces the complexity by sitting in between. Even BizTalk also reduces the complexity sitting in between. Okay. Apart from that, everything is different actually. TIBCO will have a different types of architecture and different types of message routing. Okay. So that is the difference. So I would say that most of the people take Microsoft. That is the reason most of the companies take BizTalk as a platform actually. So everyone likes Microsoft in terms of development. Whether you go for web application, we have ASP.NET, right? ASP.NET and MVC applications and all that. If you take a Windows application, we have a WPF application and Windows Forms. And if you go for a cloud application, we have Microsoft Azure. In Azure, we have a lot of things, correct? So actually, the Microsoft has its own legs in all the space actually. Even you can develop a mobile application, whether it be an Android or whether it be an iOS. Even Microsoft has certain a piece of frameworks available to do all this actually. So basically, that is the only reason. Microsoft BizTalk has a very good future in terms of other technologies. Even other technologies have a future. See, there are a lot of technologies like Neuron USB. Okay, even Neuron USB is like a newly came. I think the 2 to 3 years back, Neuron USB came actually. Even Neuron USB is like kind of a middleware. Even that is trying to acquire a middleware integration space. Okay, so like every day we are getting new technologies in the middleware also, because middleware has a very good scope. If you see the top 10 technologies in 2016 to learn, if you just Google saying that what are the top 10 technologies to learn in 2016 for the present, you can see that a middleware. Okay, so it will not say BizTalk or WebSphere or TIBCO or anything actually. It will say the middleware is one of the the middleware integration. You might have a word saying that middleware or integration or something like that. You can see that there is having a very good scope because every organization is keep on growing and every organization want to reduce the complexity when trying to interact with other systems by having a middleware in between. So that is the reason we have a very good scope for BizTalk and WebSphere and TIPCO and all that. So any questions till now actually? So now you might have understood why should I learn BizTalk, correct? Any questions, guys?
No.
See, you guys are interacting with me. That's when I'll get motivated and I can say something. Actually, you guys have to open your mouth just an yes or no is more than enough for me. Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
No, actually.
Okay, so you understood, right? What is middleware and why should I learn BizTalk? Okay. And see, the next thing coming to the picture. So I'm going to go through with few slides actually. So where you can see that, like whatever explained you, it will be there, but I am going to show you in words. Whatever explained you, that will be there in the slides, and I'm going to walk you through that. Okay. And okay, the first thing. See, EI, what is meant by EI? See, EI is nothing but for enterprise application integration. Okay, so enterprise meaning a different systems in an enterprise. For example, manufacturing, finance, and like resource planning. So all these are enterprise systems actually. So in enterprise, these are the applications, and we are trying to integrate all these applications. That's why it's called as EI, enterprise application integration. Okay, like you can see the words actually. It integrates internal systems and application. Internal systems meaning any internal system. For example, when you're working in an organization, okay, when you work in an organization, in that organization you will be having lot of things. For example, you will be having HR department, okay, you'll be having a finance department, okay. So all these departments are integrated with each other because when you log in with your user ID password with that particular organization, you can see your payment, correct. Even you can see to which HR you have to report to, okay. Even you can see your personal information like your passport information or first name, last name, what's your salary and all that, okay. So even you can see your finance information. So all these systems are tightly integrated. That's why with your user ID and password you can see all the information, okay. So that's what like enterprise application integration. Within an enterprise you can integrate all the thing that is called as EI by using middleware, okay. And so these are the things EI benefits. So when you use an application integration solutions, you can use this actually. So basically, if you just see one word actually, so basically like I told you, better scalability and availability of application. Better scalability meaning you can keep on growing actually. Since you have middleware in between, you can keep on growing. You don't need to restrict yourself because the complexity is less if you have a middleware in between. Since the complexity is less, it reduces the IT cost. It reduces the IT cost meaning what? Since the complexity is less, you don't need to spend much in terms of keep on developing the code, right? For an example, let's say there is a change required in the system A, which is integrating with system B. You don't need to, it will not affect system B because we have a middleware in between. So that the change you don't need to do both A and B. Understood? If there is any change required in A, you don't need to do the change in B also because those are not tightly integrated. Those are not directly communicating because middleware is in between. So that is the reason you don't need to do much code to integrate with other systems. Just give the code to the middleware, they will take care. So that you don't need to code in A also, you don't need to code in B also. Just do the code in middleware, they will take care of both A and B. Because of which the resources is less. Resources meaning we no need of more than one developer. We require only one developer to do the code in between. So it reduces the cost, right? Basically. So the resources are less, the cost is also less, and because of which they will get the profits and they will grow faster. So now you might have known what is the use of middleware. Okay. So there, let's say there is an application integrating with other 10 or 100 applications. You no need to do the change in all applications. You just do the change in the middleware. That will take care of doing the changes in other applications, which reduces the cost and it helps us to grow the business. So any questions till now?
No.
No.
Okay. So now, so that is why we have to learn BizTalk, and that is why the middleware space is all about. Okay. So these are the, you can see the slide. These are like a different perspective. Okay. So these are the different things you can do with BizTalk. For an example, during order processing you can use, and if like in order payment you can use. By like these are simple scenarios you can think about, and this is the one of the important slide actually. So by using middleware, what are the things you can achieve? Connectivity. Okay, what do you mean by connectivity? For an example, like I told you, let's say we have a Flipkart and Myntra once again. Let's say the Myntra is developed by using an Oracle application or by using IBM based application. Okay, let's say the Flipkart has developed by using a Microsoft enabled application. So if these two application wants to interact, they might have a different technology. But if you have a middleware in between, the middleware will take care of connecting even though it's a different technology. Understood. So the Flipkart no need to worry, even Myntra no need to worry of exchanging the messages. BizTalk will take care of connecting two different systems, even though they are use different languages, different adapters, or different plugins, or different softwares altogether. We no need to worry which software we are trying to send a message. The middleware will take care of connecting the different systems. That's what the connectivity is. Integration, I think I already told you, middleware integration. It reduces the complexity by reducing the direct interaction with other systems. Okay. And what is your monitoring? Monitoring meaning, let's say there are 100 applications, you no need to monitor in all the 100 applications. You just monitor only in middleware, because all the messages definitely will go via middleware, right? If 100 applications, if you want to do a monitoring in all 100 applications, you require 100 developers. Okay. If you just have only one developer who do the coding only in the middleware, only one developer is more than enough to do the code for monitoring also. Because all the messages has to come to the middle, and that is when it will route the messages, right? So even that reduces the complexity. So you can do monitoring. Okay. So what is the use of monitoring actually? For an example, you will call a customer care, right? Whether it be an Airtel or Vodafone or anything, like if you are doing a payment from your international transaction to the local bank, if you're stuck in between, you will have certain reference number or you will have some order ID to call with, right? So basically in BizTalk actually will store the messages whenever you submit. When you click on the submit button, we'll store the messages saying, okay, what is the order ID, what is happening to that, whether it has been reached the payment or whether it has been processed or where it is holding. All this information will order and will put it into the management system. So when you call a customer care will log into the management system. You'll give this order ID or your mobile number or your email ID, and they will tell you the status of it. So this is the use of monitoring. Even because of which, see now wherever you go, the monitoring is really required, because if anything is got in between, you will be calling the customer care. So monitoring and management is really important, and even for that we no need to spend much if you have a middleware in between. So these 4 points clear, guys. These are the 4 important things you should know. Like these are one of the important slide actually. So you guys know, right, what is connectivity, integration, monitoring and management now?
Yes.
So can someone of you tell me actually, like why connectivity, what is connectivity and why we require connectivity and integration? Anyone? Just to make sure that like what I am saying, whether you guys are understanding or not. Just to know actually. So what is use of connectivity?
It is
Anyone?
nothing but just we take the systems. If we take the systems A and B and the middleware tool that is implementing the right connection between A and B.
Okay, that is okay. That is one way of answering, right? And any other answers? Okay, so basically, yeah, what you said is right, but in put it in a different words, like even though if you have a different softwares or different applications or developed by different languages of 2 different systems or more than 2 actually, so you can connect it without any problems. Okay. Now, so this is one more like you can think about, like I told you, connectivity, integration. management and monitoring, right? You can see all this in a single slide. For an example, let's say A is SQL, B is Oracle, and C is MongoDB. You can integrate a different database also. Even you can integrate a different applications also. Even you can, whether application developed by Unix system or Microsoft system or Mac, Apple, anything you can integrate with the BizTalk also. Okay. So that is the use of middleware. So now this is the point-to-point connection where without using middleware, we don't have any middleware in between. Okay. So if you take this as an example, since this particular slide doesn't have a middleware in between, you can see that if there is any changes in order entry, okay, let's say if there is any change in order entry, it will affect all the applications. Okay, because of which you have to do the coding in everything. You have to do the coding in everything, so that because we have done a changes in order entry, the order entry is interacting with all the applications. So you'll end up doing code in all the applications. So how many developers you require? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically 7 developers required to do a small one change. All 7 developers has to do the change in all the systems. So it reduces what? It increases the complexity, is very difficult to modify, and changes affect many systems. Okay. Now let's say we have a middleware in between. This particular method is called hub and spoke. Okay. Let's say a middleware in between. Let's say we are doing a changes only in the order entry. Okay. You do that change in the middleware will take care of changes in all the other systems. So how many developers required? Only one developer is more than enough to take care of the change. Or maximum 2 developers. One is over here and one is over here. Maximum 2, minimum 1. So it reduces the cost. It reduces the IT cost. It enables us to build the business. It reduces cost. It enables us to do the business, and the transformation is faster. Even the organization can grow. It reduces the complexity. Everything actually. Clear?
Yes.
So this is one example. Now actually coming back to the, let me directly get into BizTalk. So this is what is BizTalk actually. So like I told you, BizTalk is an integration platform from a Microsoft. Simple way of explaining what is BizTalk. BizTalk is a Microsoft integration platform or integration server. Okay. So no need to worry about architecture as of now. When I'm going through the sessions, I will explain you what is this architecture. So just concentrate only about the present, past, and future. Okay. So like I told you, from 2002 onwards, the BizTalk was there. Then 2004 they released one version, and then 2006 they released one version, and 2009 they released one, 2010 they released, 2013 they released one, and 2016, this last year they released one. So actually, since you can see that there is a version for 2016, it means that the BizTalk is growing. Okay, so only when they will be keep on launching, only when there is a business, right? So that is the reason, one of the example you can say, the BizTalk is growing, even the BizTalk softwares are getting in actually. So the future of BizTalk, I would say that it's, as of now, you can see a very good marketing for BizTalk actually, because of even the 2016 version came in actually, and there is a plan of 2020 also. Okay. So these are the things actually you can look into from a BizTalk server perspective. Okay. Now, so I think last slide I want to tell you, or like the same thing I want to tell you. So for an example, let's say you consider this actually. So now you can see there is only one system is interacting with the client, and we have a BizTalk in between. Let's say if the new system is coming in, it start interacting with BizTalk. Let's say B is coming in, it start interacting with BizTalk. So client doesn't have any problem. The client doesn't know how many systems they are interacting with. The BizTalk will take care of routing the messages. Yeah. So now I told you the present situation. The present situation I told you that BizTalk 2016 also released. So that is because the BizTalk is growing, a lot of people are using that. And from licensing cost of BizTalk also is very less comparing to other technologies. Okay. And what is the future? What are the future things you have to learn for the BizTalk is, see, apart from learning BizTalk, you should concentrate learning on the other things like Azure and all that also you should learn. When you get into the, when you get into the organization, if you see that like most of the, I'm not getting preference, other getting preference, because you should learn other technologies also in parallel when you're learning BizTalk. Okay. Once you get into the company, since you're just a beginner, no problem actually as of now. But once you learn BizTalk, you should not keep silent just because I know one technology I can survive. That is not like that. Once you learn BizTalk also, you should keep learning other technologies in Microsoft is more than enough. You no need to learn languages outside of Microsoft, but you should learn within Microsoft. There are a lot of languages I can suggest you. For example, you can
Can
learn
you give
after learning. Yeah.
can you give an idea? You are saying we should learn other technologies including this stuff.
No.
So
See,
can you
I
give an
think you
example?
misunderstood. No. See, what I'm saying is you should learn other technologies once you get into the organization. Let's say you got placed. Okay, you
Yeah, I'm
started.
asking just like example which we have to what are the other technologies that will help us to survive with BizTalk in the companies?
Okay,
Can
so
you, I'm
no,
asking
I
the
will tell you
names.
actually. Now after learning BizTalk, you should learn Azure Cloud. Okay, so
Okay.
cloud in Azure there are a lot of things actually, like infrastructure developer, like a DevOps or a developer or a architect. You cannot be an architect, so there is no option.
Yes.
So you have to learn as a developer or a DevOps kind of thing you have to do with the Azure actually. Okay. Now in Azure, there, like I told you, there are a lot of things in terms of learning, like whether you can learn a service bus or you can learn a virtual machine, virtual network, and then mm, the logic apps. I would suggest after learning BizTalk, you should learn Azure logic apps or Azure service bus and Azure API management. These three you
Okay.
can learn actually after learning BizTalk,
Okay. Okay. I got you.
because once you get into the organization, after learning BizTalk, actually they might come up with these three. Okay, so that also integrated with BizTalk only. Whatever the three things I said, you can integrate all these three with BizTalk also. Okay, so BizTalk is like a basement. Once you have a basement, all these three is not mandatory to learn, it's an optional. But if you want to survive after learning BizTalk, after you go in there, if they ask you, do you know Azure, then you should learn these three also.
Okay. Okay.
If you
Got
see, you might have, I don't know whether you might have searching for some job or you might have seen the portals. It's not that they might ask you, mandatory, you should learn BizTalk, optional, Azure, like if you have that is an add-on.
you.
You
Yeah.
can see those kind of things, right? They might not say Azure as a mandatory, but they will keep it as a optional. Correct.
Okay. Okay.
So
Got
these kind of things also is there. Let's say if you have a training on optionals also, if you have a learning on optionals also, then you will have a more preference than others. Athaminda,
it. Yeah.
I think you might have got it.
Yes, I got it.
So that's what it is. So I think I am done with this session. So you can tell me actually, you guys have any questions? I'll be giving a lot of samples actually once we do the session.
May I know how long does the training period continue? Like it will take 1 month or more than 1 month?
1 month I will complete actually. It depends on 1 month I will complete if you like proactive in my sessions, and then if you complete the samples which I will give you on time. If these two things you are doing from your side, and I can guarantee you that I can complete within a month. If you are proactive, if you are asking
Okay,
me some
that's fine.
questions, and if you are do the assignments on time, whatever I give you, then I can complete in 1 month. If you don't do anything of this, then it's very difficult for me to complete in 1 month.
Okay. And is there anything apps to install to do practice on BizTalk?
Yeah, we have to install SQL Server, we have to install Visual Studio. Actually, I have an option for that. Okay, I'll tell you what we can be installed on all that. We can create if you have a credit card, you can create a free 30 days free trial version in Azure. Okay, so we'll be having, don't install in your personal machine because that will make your machine slow. Okay, what we can do by using any one of your credit card, we can create a one Azure virtual machine. In that we can install everything. There is a 30 days free trial and they won't charge you. They might charge you $1, but not more than that. After 30 days it will automatically expire. You don't need to do anything. So we can create one free Azure machine that I will tell you actually. In that we can install everything and we can use wherever you want. If you install in your laptop, actually that will make your machine slow. That's it.
Okay, okay, I got you.
That's what I do in all the training sessions. I used to create a virtual machine. I am used to do all the things. I never use my personal laptop to install everything actually. That is making my machine very slow. Because we have to install BizTalk Server, we have to install Visual Studio, we have to install SQL Server. All these three are heavyweight softwares, very heavy. So if you install that in your personal laptop, at least you should have a 8 GB RAM at least. 8 GB RAM. If you can use 4 GB also, but that will make your machine slow. So that is the reason I always use Azure Virtual Machine.
Yeah. And finally, one more doubt. And what is the
Yeah.
language we use in BizTalk? Suppose let us take an example. For Java, we use programming. For front-end, we use scripting. So BizTalk, how
Okay.
will be the coding?
So BizTalk, it's like a tool actually. Basically, BizTalk it's a tool which is returned. There are certain artifacts like schema. There are certain artifacts called map. There are artifacts called orchestration. These are like the parts you can say. In orchestration, they will use Xlang. You no need to learn Xlang, but I'm just telling you. Okay. Because it's drag and drop the shapes. You know what is? You know you have used Windows application. You
Yes.
will drag and drop the button, you will drag and drop the text, you will drag and drop the label, you will do all these steps,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
here also it's like just a drag and drop. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
here
there
also
won't
it's
be
just a drag and
any
drop.
kind of coding in the BizTalk tool.
Coding is required. For an example, let's say in customer is coming in, the customer is coming in saying that I want to learn, I want to integrate with uh, let's say they are giving some custom complex logic which you want to implement in BizTalk. But let's say you are not able to do that in BizTalk because there is some limitation. Then you have to do then you have to do the coding in .NET. Then you have to integrate with BizTalk, and that will reduce the complexity. See, everything we can do with BizTalk, but there are certain things which client come up with we cannot do in BizTalk. For example, there is a complex solution. Those things we'll write it in .NET code and we'll integrate it with BizTalk.
So
So
coding is
that's what
completely
I'm
depends on the client requirement, right?
correct. Completely depends on client requirement. See, with my experience, 90% of the things you can do with BizTalk only. Okay. The remaining 10% whichever you are not able to do BizTalk, you can write it in .NET, and you can once you write the .NET code, you can use the .NET code in BizTalk. You can call the .NET code in BizTalk, and you can come up with a solution. If you're not able to do in BizTalk.
Is there will be any classes regarding .NET coding?
.NET coding, I will be forwarding you few videos actually. See, .NET if I teach you with .NET with BizTalk, then it will take more than 1 month.
Okay.
Okay. So what I will do for .NET actually, I will forward you certain videos. Okay. I will forward you certain videos. You can go through those videos. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay. And then what else? Any questions?
Tomorrow same time, the
That
class.
that I'll speak to uh, my partner and they will let you know.
Okay, sure.
So any questions? Okay. So one request for you guys is like say be interactive actually. If you're not interactive, I cannot cover. See, if you guys are interacting, I can go depth actually. If you guys are not interacting, you are very silent. Even I will lose the mood of teaching. Then you cannot get everything out of me. If you guys ask more question, if you guys are more interacting, that's when I can give my best. If you guys are not interacting, I can give my best so that you cannot get the best out of me. Okay. Only when you ask more question, even I can give more out of it. Okay. There is one request for you guys, and do the assignments on time. And what I want to tell you is like, see, you might have like once you for 10 days or 30 days, you just be concentrated like whatever you give, complete it on time. That is the only request for me, from me actually. Okay. Okay then.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
okay. So okay then. See you guys. If you have any doubt, just see the recording session. Maybe he might be forwarding you. Okay. So
Yeah, sure.
okay then.
See you tomorrow.
Have a good day. Bye.